May 5, 1945, the day the Netherlands was liberated from the Nazis, a day of joy with dancing and singing, culminated with an ultimate sense of freedom. This day sounds like one of the best days in our histories, but it also holds a painful truth. For it on this day that 140,000 women were humiliated in public because of their involvement and relationship with the German soldiers during the Second World War. The Netherlands was attacked and occupied by Germany in the Second World War from May 1940 until May 1945. It was finally liberated by American, Canadian and British troops on May 5, 1945. At the start of the occupation, the Germans were still friendly, but as the war progressed, they became increasingly stricter and more aggressive. The Germans forced the Dutch to adhere to their rules and abandon their normal way of living. The Jewish people in particular suffered from the Germans. For example, they were no longer allowed to go to certain public places, and later they were even also prosecuted and murdered in various Jewish camps such as Auschwitz. The term moffenmeiden comes from the Dutch word moffen, which was an alias for Nazis during the Second World War. Moff was a swear word that we used against the German soldiers. The word already existed in the 16th century. Meiden is the Dutch word for girls, and that is how the name moffenmeiden was created. When the war ended, a lot of people enjoyed being free, having no more obligation towards the Germans and moreover not having to worry. But they did know that there were girls, women or even older ladies who were in a relationship or had a fling with the German soldiers. In their eyes, they were traitors.
Girls were taken out of their own house by citizens who felt betrayed by the actions of the moffenmeiden, and most of the time it went like the following sketch.
Go away, please! I did nothing wrong!
Fucking Maury slut!
No, please, my baby!
If you were a traitor, you didn't just get away with it. No, they made sure that everyone saw you as a slut. The most common punishment was that you were put on a truck and the truck was then slowly driven through the crowd where everyone scolded you. They were screaming slut, whore and traitor. When the ride ended, they all got their hair shaved off. All their pretty long hair was gone. And on their bald head they painted a swastika, which was the sign of the Nazi movement. They also covered you in grease. This effect was traumatizing and haunted the moffenmeiden for the rest of their lives. Not only were their identities stolen, but as of that day, their friends and family would never see them the way they used to before.
There are many negative and violent reactions about the moffenmeiden nowadays. These are a few examples in response to interviews. Beware, this can be experienced as shocking. At that time, completely logical response was seen as a treason, totally unplaceable in current time and incomprehensible for those who did not live at that time. Let it rest, it's dumb business. I think it's a mild punishment for treason. This is now called karma. First, sleep with those Nazis and then act pathetic because you get karma? This should not have been so, a bullet was better. Are they going to sleep with the enemy and then think you still respect them? WTF? I think bald shaving is actually a mild punishment for those horror traitors. In wartime, there were enough Dutch women who turned around with Germans who ridiculed the Dutch or that they were going to help the Germans by betraying people or Jews so that the Dutch people wanted revenge. That's understandable.
The real problem is that nobody predicted that these actions would still be a topic of conversation many years later. According to a few of the moffenmeiden, recognition and restoration of the girl's honor was the only way to end this horrific chapter in history. This is why the government later apologized to them.
Because many women have a new identity or are too scared to talk about it, we have asked the opinion of an expert. This is what she has to say about the apologizing of the state. The state is supposed to protect the citizens, and this has not been successful in this case. The victims deserve an apology. It is a recognition of the suffering that their family has experienced. It's never too late to apologize, and I think there needs to be apologized in this case, because it's a hard history that you can't just get over.
This is why it's a painful part of history, because even to this day, the Moffenmeiden don't like to talk about it. Even their children, or perhaps their grandchildren, have to face the consequences and suffer the humiliation that their mom or grandmother slept with a German soldier during the Second World War.